Hi guys, Will here from Contentment Books and Tea, and today I'm starting a new series which I'm going to do maybe once or twice a year called PageToScreen. It's fairly self-explanatory. It's basically where I'm going to do a summary of some of the books, some of my favourite picks of which books are going to be made into films this year. So first off, going against the grain straight away, and instead of a film, it's actually going to be a TV series, because the film that they did was a huge box office flop, even though I actually really enjoyed it, is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. That's going to be made into a TV series called Shadowhunters. At the time I'm filming this, it's already come out in the US. It came out in the US on the 12th of January. In the UK, it came out on Netflix on the 13th. So it's going to continue like that throughout the year. I'm assuming it'll be in anywhere else other than the US the day after it's released in America, and obviously that will follow the general storyline of the Mortal Instruments, and hope it's better than the film. Okay, so the second film that we're looking at in January is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I do apologise if I butcher any names, that will probably happen. This is basically a tale about a girl called Cassie, I think it is. Yeah, it's Cassie. And basically what has happened, what we know has happened, is that 4 waves of basically attacks, like apocalyptic level attacks, have already hit the earth, basically devastated most of it, and she is trying to save her sister and like gather with these people before the 5th and lethal wave comes, hence why it's called The Fifth Wave. And we do also know that she meets a guy along the way, and he could be her only hope. Like I said, that's going to be, well, I don't know if I said, but that's going to be in cinemas on the 22nd of January this year. Okay, so moving on to February, I'm going to try and mix up the kind of genre of books that I'm talking about. I apologise if I don't sound as enthusiastic about some books rather than others. I am a fantasy guy myself, but I do realise that people watching this will want to know about romance or dystopia or whatever, so we're going to try and mix it up. But anyway guys, the film in February is going to be The Choice. The Choice is written by Nicholas Sparks, and it's basically self-explanatory again. Follows a guy and a girl. The guy is called Travis Shaw and the girl is called Gabby Holland. And the guy is the kind of guy that just thinks that a relationship would cramp his style, and the girl is actually in a long-term relationship, and by fate their lives get brought together. I think they become neighbours, and then they basically hit it off, like there's a spark there, and they have to make the hard choice of like how far they're willing to take it, obviously, because she's in the relationship. He doesn't think that he wants to be in a relationship, so he has committal issues, but that's basically what they have to do. They have to make a choice, and that's coming out on the 5th of February. Okay, so moving on to March, and this one I'm personally excited for because I loved this series, is Allegiant. It's the third and final book in the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. I'm not going to say too much about the plot for that reason, so to avoid spoilers, but from the trailer that I saw when I was in the cinema watching something else, I'm not too thrilled about it. Obviously I'm going to watch it because I have to, because obviously I've watched Divergent and Insurgent and I've read all of them, but I am definitely excited to see what they've changed and why, and see if it brings anything else to the film, and that is going to be coming out on the 18th of March. Okay, so moving on to April, and we actually have a very exciting prospect here. Disney is remaking The Jungle Book. I'm not sure why, but what I do know is that it's a very, very, very well-known children's story, and also it's going to have Scarlett Johansson in it, and it's going to have Idris Elba in it, so that can only mean good things, and I think that is coming out on the 15th of April, so look out for that one. Okay, so it kind of looks like we're getting a book to a film a month this year. We're moving into May now, and the next book that's going to be made into a film is Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, which essentially carries on from the end of Alice in Wonderland's story, which is obviously a very popular children's story. Disney's already done Alice in Wonderland. I'm not sure if it's Disney that's doing Through the Looking Glass, but if you do find out, then please comment who is doing it below. If it is Disney, then great. If it's not, then I'm sure they'll do a good job anyway. But essentially, what it is that this time it's like, I think the film is a modern adaptation of the original story, where instead of it being Alice that goes into Wonderland, it's her mum, and then they basically have to save the Mad Hatter by putting the Queen of Hearts back on the throne. It's a bit more fantasy-ish. I know the first book there's like allusions to like drug use and things like that, but I'm gonna just put that to a side for a sec. This is a children's story, but I think this story is gonna be really cool, and I love my cloth bound copy, which I will read before the film comes out, and that is going to be released, guys, on the 27th of May. Okay, so skipping a month, and we're going to July now. The next film is going to be the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant, and I'm fairly certain that I don't need to explain the plot for this because it's a very, very well-known children's story again. And Disney is busy because he's got this one as well, and it's directed by Steven Spielberg, so that should be really interesting. That is going to be released on the 1st of July, so make sure you don't miss that. Okay, so again, skipping a couple of months, the next book that we're looking at is Inferno by Dan Brown. Now, this is going to be released on the 8th of October. I don't really know, although I do have the physical copy in hardback, which is really nice. I don't really know much about the story other than it's like to do with the Da Vinci Code, I guess. It's the same story-ish. I don't know. Please feel free to correct me. But what it says on IMDb is, after waking up in a hospital room in Florence, Italy, with no memory of what has occurred for the last few days, Robert Langdon suddenly finds himself the target of a manhunt. With the help of Dr. Sienna Brooks and his knowledge of symbology, Langdon will try to escape whilst solving the most intricate riddle he's ever faced. So that sounds a lot like Angels and Demons. It sounds a lot like the Da Vinci Code. But I'm sure you Dan Brown people will be killing me right now for saying that it's the same, because it probably is nothing like it. But if you have read it and you do know what it's about, then please comment below. Feel free to correct me. But I'm kind of excited for this, because it will obviously, when a film's coming out, it motivates you to read the book or even reread the book in some cases. And I'm really excited for that. So that's the 8th of October that's going to be released. Okay, so this next book is going to be released in November. It's going to be released on the 18th of November, to be precise. And it's probably the film adaptation, I guess, that I'm most excited for this year, because, you guessed it, it's to do with Harry Potter. It's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling. Now, I don't know how they're going to do this, because this is just basically like a Harry Potter school book of, like, if you were taking care of magical creatures, like, this is what you would be given to read. It's basically just an encyclopedia of all the possible creatures that you could come across and their danger level and, like, facts about them. It's written in obviously in the world of Harry Potter. It's written by Newt Scamander. So I think how the film's going to work is it's going to follow his life, so the life of Newt Scamander, which is 70 years before Harry is actually in school. So it's just going to be him and part of, like, the magical community back then. Don't know if we're going to see Voldemort at any point, because he was 50 years before. It'd be cool if they kind of intertwine it a little bit at the end. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. But if any of you guys are Potterheads and you have any opinions on this, then again, comment them below. I'd be really interested to hear what you said. And like I say, that is going to be released on the 18th of November, so make sure you put that in your calendars. Make sure you're at the cinema, because that's the most important film of the year. Okay, so the next month is December, and what I have as a definite date for you is the last movie that I have a definite date for this year. It's Let It Snow, and that's going to be released on the 9th of December. Now, this is a bit of a weird one, because it's by 3 different authors. It's by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. I probably just butchered that as well. Basically, it's going to be a kind of intertwining of 3 different stories from those authors. So either The Fault in Our Stars or Paper Towns by John Green, The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson, or the Internet Girls series by Lauren Miracle. And like I said, that's going to be released on the 9th of December. If you know more about it, please comment below, because I have absolutely zero information on this this book or this film. But that's, like I said, that's the last one that I've got a definite date for. So now we're going to move into the ones where I'm not really sure on what date it could be this year, but they are definitely going to be released this year. Okay, so the first of these non-committal ones for 2016 I don't have a date for, but the first one is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and the film adaptation title is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiars, and the book is by Ransom Riggs, I believe. Again, probably butchered that name, but there you go. And it's basically a story that follows our main character Jacob as he discovers the ruins of an old school, which is Miss Peregrine's school. And what he finds out is that they weren't only peculiar children, or peculiars, they actually had special powers, and they might actually still be alive amongst the rubble. So that's going to be really interesting, and it's very, very popular on Goodreads at the moment. It's got a lot of good ratings. It's like on the popular listings, so I might order that. I might check it out. I know my girlfriend's cousin has it, and she says that I've got to read it before the film comes out. That's definitely coming out this year, guys, but like I said, I don't have a definite date for that one. Okay, so the next novel we have for 2016, which I don't know what the date is Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. This is also very popular on Goodreads at the moment, and it follows our main character Annie. She is a New Yorker. She has it all. She has like amazing wardrobe. She has a high position at a really respected magazine, and she has like a long-term relationship. She's like engaged, but then she's harboring this dark trauma from her past, which ends up resurfacing, and only to give her the chance to confront it. But if she does, it will unravel her like carefully crafted out life that she's got going on at the moment. So that could be very exciting for you guys that like, I don't know what it's classed as. Is it romance? I guess it's drama. I would say it's drama. If you guys enjoy drama, then that's definitely one not to miss. I think it's being produced by Lionsgate, but that's neither here nor there. I don't have any opinions. But that's, like I said, the second book for this year that I don't have a date for. Okay, so this next novel is fairly highly anticipated for this year, and that is Legend by Marie Lu, I'm going to go with. And it's basically a dystopian, I would say, novel again. And it's set in an alternative future where North America is split into two nations that are at war. And we follow our main characters, Day and June, who are on opposing sides, and they uncover hidden truths about their respective leaders. That could be very, very interesting. This is a very highly profiled book on the Bookstagram community. I see a lot of pictures being taken of it all the time. A lot of people have read it. A lot of people on Goodreads have given it good reviews, so I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic film. I'm not sure who's got the rights to it. But anyway, guys, that is the third film, and I think the final film that is definitely going to be coming out this year, but I just don't know when. Now I'm going to move into a couple of films that might come out this year. They might be next year or even the year after, but I'm not too sure on the timescale of how filming things work, but I know that they're definitely in the process and could possibly come out this year. Okay, guys, so the first books we're going to talk about is the Shatter Me series. Now, rights were previously sold for a film, but that didn't go ahead, so now it's actually, the rights have been sold to ABC Signature for a TV series, which is obviously an offshoot of ABC. There's not really been much said about this, other than it is moving forward, and also there's been a couple of talks with other booktubers, and I'll put their channels either like along here, or their links will definitely be in the description below if you want to go and learn more about that for yourself. Okay, so the next book we're going to talk about is Eleanor and Park. This is a very, very high profile book within the Bookstagram community. Again, I see this book posted a lot, and also it's got high reviews on Goodreads and ratings and stuff, so I thought I'd share this with you. Now, in April last year, there was a statement put out that basically DreamWorks have optioned the film for the book, and the first draft screenplay was written and the production was moving forward. This, however, doesn't really mean much because casting hadn't been decided, and that won't be decided until there's a director, and that hadn't been decided at this point, but this was posted on the 8th of April last year. So any of you like film studies people, if you can tell me what the sort of timescale is on that, whether that could be possibly for this year or whether it could be next year, I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear that. Just comment down below and I'd be interested to hear the real facts about this case. Okay, so the last book that I'm going to talk about in this video, or book series, is the Selection series, and that is by Kira Cass. Again, I apologise for my terrible name pronunciation. But anyway, guys, on the 22nd of April last year, I believe Warner Brothers won the rights to a film. There were 2 TV pilots, I think, in the US, but I don't think that worked out, and there is going to hopefully be a film adaptation. Again, I'm not sure the timescale of things. This is like mid last year we're talking about. Whether they can get a film together in a year, probably not. It'll probably be next year or the year after, but I thought I'd just share this in my first video. And if you have enjoyed this kind of video, if you think that this series is a good idea, then please drop a like on it, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more of my content. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good rest of your day. See you in the next video.